All around you, the world moves quietly, softly, gently, in rhythms that have been unfolding for countless ages. Air drifts slowly over trees and rivers, light filters softly through clouds, and life carries on in calm, patient motion, without hurry, without demand, without expectation. You do not need to follow. You do not need to remember. You do not need to do anything at all. You are simply here, resting, allowing yourself to drift along with the quiet pulse of the earth, the gentle, steady rhythm of life flowing softly, endlessly, calmly. Breath flows naturally. Body softens. Mind drifts with the quiet, unhurried world around you, slowly, gently, deeply. Settle into a comfortable position and allow your body to rest just as it is. There is nothing you need to adjust, nothing you need to hold. This moment is already enough. You may notice the simple rhythm of breathing, the gentle rise and fall that happens on its own. There is no need to guide it. Breathing knows what to do, the same way it always has. As you rest here, you can imagine the quiet world of science continuing softly in the background, not as facts to remember, but as a slow, steady hum of order and calm. Far beneath awareness, tiny particles move in predictable ways. Atoms drift and vibrate, not in a hurry, not with intention, just following gentle rules that never rush them. They have all the time they need. These movements do not ask for attention. They do not change suddenly. They simply continue, moment after moment, steady and reliable, like a soft current beneath still water. Your body is part of this calm system. Cells quietly repair and balance themselves. Signals travel slowly and smoothly, finding their places without effort. Nothing is being demanded of you. If your thoughts wander, that is perfectly fine. Thoughts can drift like clouds, passing without meaning, without needing to be followed. You do not have to hold on to any of them. Somewhere above, the earth turns at an unchanging pace. Not fast, not slow, just constant. Day and night flow into one another without struggle. This turning has happened for a very long time, and it will continue without needing your attention. Gravity holds everything gently in place. It is quiet and dependable. It keeps oceans resting in their basins, keeps the ground beneath you steady, keeps you supported without effort. You can let yourself sink into that support. Time, too, moves softly here. It does not push, it does not pull. It simply moves forward in smooth, even steps, each one blending into the next. There is no need to notice where one moment ends and another begins. You may feel yourself becoming heavier, or lighter, or simply still. Any sensation is fine. Or perhaps there is very little sensation at all. That is fine too. Science continues quietly in the background. Energy spreads evenly. Systems settle into balance. Heat drifts from warmer places to cooler ones, slowly, patiently, until everything feels the same. This settling is natural. It does not need encouragement. Your mind can rest in the same way. There is nothing important coming next. Nothing to prepare for. Nothing to understand. The words can wash over you, or fade away completely. Even silence would be enough. If sleep arrives, it arrives gently. If it takes its time, that is gentle too. There is no right moment. There is only this calm continuation. You are safe to rest. You are allowed to let go. The quiet processes of the universe will continue, steady and unchanged, whether you are listening or not. And so you can drift, without effort, without awareness, supported by calm systems, soft rhythms, and a world that knows how to carry on while you sleep. Earth can be felt as a single, continuous system, resting quietly in space, with no sharp edges and no sudden movement. It does not rush, it does not strain, it simply exists, steady and complete, moment after moment. Everything on Earth belongs to this one system. Nothing stands alone. Land, water, and air remain gently connected, touching and influencing one another in slow, familiar ways. They have been doing this for longer than memory, and they will continue without effort. The land feels solid and dependable. Continents rest in place, carrying forests, deserts, valleys, and plains, even though the ground seems still. It is quietly active beneath the surface. Rock forms, wears down and reforms. Sail slowly gathers, grain by grain, through patient processes that take their time. Nothing here needs to hurry. Water moves calmly. Across this land, rain falls softly, finding its way into streams and rivers. Rivers follow gentle paths toward the sea, never rushing, never forcing direction. They simply flow, guided by gravity and time. The oceans rest alongside the continents, wide and unbroken. Their surfaces rise and fall in slow patterns. Deep currents travel beneath, moving warmth from one region to another. These movements are so gradual that they feel almost like stillness. The oceans absorb heat, release it gently, and help keep the planet comfortable and calm. Above land and sea, the atmosphere surrounds Earth like a quiet blanket. Air drifts slowly, warming here, cooling there. Clouds gather, soften, and dissolve. Winds move without intention, connecting distant places in calm. Invisible ways, the air does not push, it flows. Land, ocean, and atmosphere remain in constant, quiet exchange. Moisture rises from the sea, travels through the air, and returns to the land as rain. Heat moves gently between surface and sky. Nothing happens suddenly. Each change unfolds at its own natural pace. Energy enters the system, softly from the sun. It rises as light and warmth, spreading evenly across Earth's surface. Some places receive more, some less, yet balance slowly forms over time. The energy is absorbed by soil, by water, by leaves and open fields. It is never demanding. It simply arrives and settles. Plants respond quietly to this light, without sound. They turn sunlight into gentle growth. Energy becomes leaves, stems, and roots. That energy continues its slow journey, moving through soil, into the air, into water, and back again. Nothing is lost. Nothing is rushed. Within this calm system, feedback loops work like steady breathing. When temperatures rise, cooling processes gradually respond. When air grows moist, clouds form and release rain. These responses are not dramatic. They are smooth and familiar, happening over time. The Earth does not correct itself sharply. It adjusts softly. With patience, small changes lead to gentle responses, which lead back toward balance. This balance is not perfect stillness. It is a slow, continuous settling. Like waves smoothing sand along a quiet shore, self-regulation flows through every part of nature. Seasons come and go, never surprising the planet. Warmth and coolness alternate. Dryness and rain follow one another in calm cycles. Each phase prepares the way for the next. Without effort, Earth does not need direction to remain steady. Its systems support one another naturally. Land shapes wind. Oceans soften temperature. Air distributes moisture and warmth together. They create stability that feels safe and dependable. You are resting within this system now. Your body follows similar rhythms. Breathing adjusts itself. Temperature settles. Energy moves where it is needed, quietly and efficiently. There is nothing you need to monitor, nothing you need to remember. These systems have always known how to continue. As you lie here, Earth remains calm beneath you. Water continues its slow cycles. Air rests gently round you. Energy flows without effort. You are supported by a planet that understands balance, that moves slowly, that cracks softly, and that carries on through time while you're free to rest, and so you can let go, allowing your awareness to soften, knowing that everything essential is already happening without your attention. Life on Earth did not begin suddenly. It emerged slowly, in a world that was calm enough to allow patience. There was time, there was space, there was no need for urgency. Early Earth offered gentle conditions. Liquid water rested on the surface. Energy arrived steadily from the sun. Simple chemicals moved, mixed, and settled again. Nothing needed to happen quickly, given enough time. Small changes were allowed to continue. In warm, quiet waters, simple molecules gathered. They combined, separated, and combined again. Over long stretches of time, patterns began to repeat. Some arrangements lasted longer than others. These early steps were small and unremarkable. Yet they were enough. The first forms of life were simple, tiny microorganisms, barely more than moving chemistry, drifted through water. They did not think. They did not plan. They responded only to their surroundings, growing and dividing in gentle cycles. These microorganisms were patient. They lived slowly, changed slowly, and spread quietly across the planet. Some learned to use sunlight. Some adapted to darkness. Some thrive in warmth. Others in cold. Life did not choose one path. It explored softly in many directions. Over immense periods of time, small changes gathered. Simple forms became slightly more complex. Structures developed gradually. Cells learned to work together, forming larger bodies that moved and responded in new ways. This progression was never rushed. Each step rested firmly on the one before it. Life expanded across land and sea. Plants grew calmly toward light. Animals followed steady patterns of movement and rest. Ecosystems formed without design, balanced by countless quiet interactions. Nothing needed to be perfect. Enough was enough. Throughout this long history, Earth changed, climates shifted, oceans rose and fell, the land reshaped itself slowly. At times, life faced great difficulty. Mass extinctions came and passed, removing many forms of life. Yet life continued, not because it resisted forcefully, but because it adapted softly. Small survivors remained. They filled open spaces gradually, not with urgency, but with patience. Each recovery unfolded slowly. New forms emerged from what remained. Diversity returned in calm waves, building again over time. Life did not aim to restore what was lost. It simply continued forward. Across billions of years, this continuity remained unbroken. Generations followed generations, each one passing on small changes, quiet improvements, simple persistence. There was no final goal. There was no destination. Life continued because conditions allowed it to continue, because energy flowed, because water remained, because Earth stayed steady enough to support it. This long continuity still surrounds you now. Every living thing carries traces of that ancient past. Cells still divide in familiar ways. Energy still moves through living systems gently. Nothing about this needs your attention. You can rest within this long story. It does not require understanding. It does not ask to be remembered. Life has always known how to continue without being watched. As you lie here, the quiet processes of life go on, slow, steady, and reliable, just as they have for billions of years. And you are free to drift, supported by a world that knows how to keep going while you sleep. All around you, and far beyond what the eyes can see, microscopic life continues its quiet work. It does not announce itself. It does not seek attention. It simply remains present, steady and dependable, long before large plants or animals appeared. Bacteria and archaea were already here. They were small, simple, and patient. They learned how to live in many places, warm and cold, wet and dry, bright and dark. They asked for very little, and they adapted gently. These tiny forms of life still surround the planet. They live in the soil beneath your feet, resting between grains of earth. They drift through oceans, moving slowly with the water. Some even float quietly in the air, traveling without direction, without urgency, in soil. Microbes work calmly with roots and minerals. They help break down fallen leaves, returning nutrients to the ground. Nothing is wasted. Everything is used slowly, over time. This process happens without sound, without effort. In the oceans, microscopic life drifts inward. Open waters, tiny organisms float near the surface, receiving soft sunlight. They move with currents, never rushing, never stopping. These small lives form the base of vast food webs, quietly supporting everything above them. Long ago, some of these microorganisms learned to use sunlight in a new way. As they did so, oxygen slowly began to enter the atmosphere. It was not sudden. It took a very long time. Breathable air formed gradually. One small release at a time, the planet changed calmly. Without disruption, microorganisms continue to guide Earth's cycles. They move nutrients through soil, water, and air. They transform nitrogen into forms plants can use. They recycle carbon gently, returning it to the system again and again. These cycles do not pause. They flow smoothly, like slow, repeating tides. Many of these microscopic lives work together with larger ones. Plants share space with helpful microbes around their roots. In return, nutrients are exchanged calmly and efficiently. Animals carry communities of microorganisms within them, supporting digestion and balance. These relationships are not forced. They formed naturally. Through long periods of quiet cooperation, symbiosis is simply closeness over time, living together until it becomes familiar, until it becomes stable, until it feels effortless. None of this activity creates noise. None of it demands awareness. These tiny lives continue their work whether they are noticed or not. They do not hurry. They do not stop as you rest. Microscopic processes continue all around you. Soil remains fertile. Air stays balanced. Water stays alive with gentle motion. The planet is supported by life too small to see, yet steady enough to carry everything else. You do not need to follow these details. You do not need to remember them. They will continue in their calm patterns without your attention. And so you can rest easily, knowing that countless tiny lives are quietly keeping the world in balance, allowing you to soften, to drift, and to sleep. Life does not insist on comfort. It does not require ease or softness. It simply continues, even in places that feel quiet, distant, or almost empty. In some of the smallest forms of life, this calm persistence becomes very clear. Tardigrades, tiny and nearly weightless, move slowly through films of water. When conditions become difficult, they do not struggle, they gently pause. They enter a resting state called cryptobiosis, where movement nearly stops, and time seems to pass without effect. Heat, cold, dryness, even radiation can surround them, and still they remain. Waiting patiently. There is no urgency in this waiting, no resistance, just quiet endurance. When Gentle conditions return. Life resumes as if nothing had happened, slowly, naturally, across the planet. Other forms of life have settled into places that seem inhospitable. Some microorganisms live in intense heat, near boiling water and deep within the earth. Others rest in extreme cold, where ice remains for long stretches of time. Some exist under enormous pressure, far beneath the ocean surface, where darkness is constant and movement is minimal. These extremophiles do not conquer their surroundings. They adapt softly. Their chemistry adjusts, their rhythms slow or change. They find balance within conditions that never change quickly. Deep in the ocean, near hydrothermal vents, life gathers quietly. Mineral-rich water flows from cracks in the seafloor. There is no sunlight here, yet life continues, fed by chemical energy rising gently from the earth itself. Communities form slowly, supported by steady flows rather than sudden bursts on land. Life finds similar calm persistence in deserts. Organisms wait patiently for rare moisture. Seeds remain dormant. Microbes rest beneath the surface. When rain finally arrives, life responds gently, without haste, in glaciers. Life moves at a nearly imperceptible pace. Cells function slowly, protected within ice. Time stretches long and quiet here. Nothing is forced. Deep within caves, where light never reaches, life adapts again. Movement becomes minimal. Energy is conserved. Growth is slow and steady. Silence is constant, and life fits comfortably within it. These forms of life do not see challenge. They do not aim to prove anything. They simply adjust again and again. As conditions gently change around them, what extreme life reveals is not strength in the dramatic sense, but adaptability without struggle, a willingness to slow down, a readiness to pause, a quiet acceptance of what is. Life continues not by pushing forward, but by settling into balance wherever it finds itself. This ability to remain, to wait, to change softly, has carried life through long stretches of time. You can rest with this understanding, without holding it. Life does not need effort to persist. Neither do you, as you lie here, allowing your body to soften. You are surrounded by the same gentle principle. Adaptation without strain. Continuation without urgency. Nothing needs to be done. Nothing needs to be remembered. Life knows how to rest when it must, and so can you. And in this quiet awareness, you are free to drift, supported by a world where even in the most extreme places, life remains calm, patient, and at ease. Plants rest quietly all around you, rooted in place, yet always active in soft, patient ways. They do not move quickly, and they do not call attention to themselves. Their activity unfolds slowly, at a pace that never interrupts rest. Through photosynthesis, plants receive energy from light. Sunlight arrives gently, and leaves accept it without effort. Inside each leaf, light is transformed into nourishment, into stored energy that supports growth and repair. This process is steady and calm, happening again and again, without sound or urgency. Energy flows through plants quietly. It moves from leaf to stem, from stem to root, spreading evenly throughout the organism. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is rushed. This gentle conversion of light into life has continued for a very long time, unchanged in its calm reliability. Plants are not isolated from one another. They share information slowly, through chemical signals released into the air and into the soil. When conditions shift, nearby plants may respond together, adjusting their growth and behavior softly. There is no alarm, only quiet communication, passed gently from one living form to another beneath the surface. Root systems spread wide and deep, Roots move patiently through soil, finding water and nutrients. They branch and reconnect, forming underground networks that link many plants together. Through these networks, resources and signals travel slowly. Supporting balance and cooperation, everything happens out of sight. Without disturbance, plants respond continuously to their surroundings. They lean toward light. Not suddenly, but gradually, they grow downward with gravity, anchoring themselves steadily. When touched, some plants adjust their movement or shape, not in reaction, but in quiet adaptation. These responses are subtle, almost unnoticeable, yet always present. Time moves differently for plants. Many live for years, decades, or even centuries. Trees grow slowly, layer by layer. Each ring holds a quiet record of conditions past. Droughts, rains, warmth, and cold are remembered not as thoughts, but as structure and form. This kind of memory does not require awareness. It is simply the continuation of experience, carried forward gently. Plants do not cling to the past. They grow from it, calmly and steadily. As you rest, plants continue their quiet work. Leaves receive light. Roots rest in darkness. Signals pass slowly through soil and air. Nothing changes quickly. Nothing needs attention. You do not need to follow these processes. You do not need to understand them. They will continue, without being noticed, just as they always have. Like plants, you are allowed to be still. You are allowed to take in energy quietly, to respond gently, to rest without movement. There is no need to grow, no need to act, no need to remember. Everything essential continues on its own. And so you can soften further, settling into stillness, supported by a living world that thrives through patience, balance, and quiet time. Beneath the surface of the world, where light does not reach, another quiet system is always at work. It moves slowly, silently, and without notice. This is the world of fungi. Fungi do not rush to be seen. They live mostly out of sight, within soil, within wood, within fallen leaves. Their role is gentle and essential. They help old things return to the system, softly and completely. As decomposers, fungi break down what has finished its time. Leaves that fall, trees that rest after long lives, organic matter that no longer grows. All of it is slowly transformed. Nothing is forced. Nothing disappears suddenly. It is a gradual return, a quiet release back into the earth. This work is done through mycelium, long, thread-like networks that spread patiently underground. These threads weave through soil and stone, branching and reconnecting, forming vast networks that stretch far beyond what is visible. They do not hurry. They explore gently, finding balance through slow expansion. These mycelial networks connect plants to one another. Roots and fungi meet, and a calm exchange begins. Nutrients move through these hidden pathways. Water travels where it is needed. Information passes quietly from one plant to another. There is no signal to notice, no message to understand, only steady cooperation through fungi. Plants are not alone. A tree can share excess nourishment. A younger plant can receive support. The forest becomes a shared system, linked below the surface, balanced without effort. Nothing is taken aggressively. Nothing is given all at once. Fungi influence entire ecosystems in this quiet way. They help shape soil. They support plant growth. They regulate how nutrients move and settle, without visible movement. They guide the health of forests, grasslands, and fields. Their presence is calm, yet deeply stabilizing. Fungi also play a gentle role in holding carbon within the earth. Organic matter breaks down slowly. Carbon is stored in soil rather than released quickly. This process unfolds over long periods, helping maintain balance in the atmosphere. It is steady, patient, and unhurried. None of this activity seeks attention. Fungi do not announce their work. They simply continue. Thread by thread, cycle by cycle. They have done so for millions of years. And they will continue quietly as you rest. These hidden networks remain active beneath you. Soil stays rich, plants stay connected, carbon stays gently held. All of it happens without sound, without effort, without awareness. You do not need to imagine the details. You do not need to remember any of this. The networks exist whether they are noticed or not. Like these underground systems, you are allowed to rest unseen. You are allowed to let go of effort. Support can exist quietly, without demand. And so you can drift further into stillness, held by a world where even the hidden parts work slowly, calmly, and without disturbance, allowing you to sleep. In many quiet places on Earth, small lives move together in gentle patterns. They do not rush. They do not compete loudly. They work side by side, forming calm systems built on cooperation and time. In ant colonies, life unfolds in steady rhythm. Each ant carries out a simple role. Some gather food, some care for the young, some maintain the pots and chambers below the ground. No single ant oversees the whole. The colony moves smoothly because each part does its small task, again and again, without needing awareness of the larger picture. These colonies breathe slowly as a unit. Pots are worn gently into the earth. Food is shared. Energy flows where it is needed. The work is quiet, predictable, and deeply settled. Bees move with a similar calm coordination. Within a hive, thousands of individuals act as one gentle system. Some tend the larvae. Some shape the honeycomb. Some travel out into the world and return again. Each movement is soft and practiced, guided by simple signals and shared rhythm. The hive remains steady. Temperature is regulated. Resources are stored carefully. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is rushed. The hive does not need instruction. Balance emerges naturally. Termites, too, build without urgency. Their structures rise slowly, grain by grain. Natural architecture forms beneath and above them. Ground, designed not by plans, but by countless small actions repeated over time. Air flows gently through these spaces. Heat settles evenly. The structure regulates itself quietly. Insects communicate without sound. Chemical signals drift through air and soil, soft and subtle. A trace left behind is enough. Others follow, adjust, or change direction gently. There is no command, only shared understanding through simple cues. These chemical messages fade naturally. Nothing lingers longer than needed. Information arrives, is used, and dissolves again into the environment. The system stays light, flexible, and calm. When insects move together in groups, their collective motion appears smooth and flowing. Swarm behavior unfolds without planning. Each individual responds only to nearby signals, yet patterns emerge. Coherent and steady, the group adapts softly, changing shape and direction without tension. This is emergent intelligence, not held in one place, not controlled by one mind. It rises gently from connection, from repetition, from time. Nothing is forced. Nothing needs awareness. These systems have existed for millions of years. They persist not through strength, but through calm cooperation, through simplicity, through patience. As you rest, these small lives continue their quiet work. Colonies breathe. Hives hum softly. Structures hold steady. Signals drift and fade, all without disturbance. You do not need to picture them clearly. You do not need to remember any of this. The details are unimportant. The feeling of calm continuity is enough. Like these systems, you do not need to manage everything at once. You do not need to see the whole picture. You can simply rest in your small, quiet place. Support exists all around you. Balance forms naturally. Order does not require effort. And so you can soften further, allowing your thoughts to slow, allowing your body to rest. While the world continues its gentle coordination, steady and calm, as you drift into sleep, all around you, in forests, oceans, skies, and underground, animals move quietly, experiencing the world in ways we cannot fully feel. They are not heard. They are not striving. They simply perceive, softly. According to their own natural rhythms, some creatures sense what we cannot. Birds and turtles drift slowly along invisible lines, guided by Earth's magnetic field. They do not think about it. They do not plan. The signals are subtle, steady, and enough to lead them gently where they need to go. There is no tension, only calm guidance. Bats move through the night with quiet precision, through echolocation. They send soft calls into the darkness. The echoes return, carrying the shape of their surroundings. With this gentle awareness, they navigate the world unseen, responding slowly and steadily to the spaces around them. Some animals see beyond our range of sight. Snakes sense heat through infrared. Bees and birds perceive ultraviolet patterns in flowers. Their vision reveals details we cannot detect. Yet it is calm, never overwhelming. Simply a different way of experiencing the same world. Sensory adaptations are always in balance with the environment. Desert animals detect faint moisture or vibrations through sand. Deep sea fish perceive the slightest glimmer in near total darkness. Creatures that live in snow or ice notice the smallest shifts in temperature or movement. Everything is soft and slow, responsive but never urgent. Even humans rest within similar quiet systems. Though our senses are different, we breathe, we feel warmth, we notice gentle light. Animals, in their own ways, rest and move within patterns that are just as slow, just as continuous. These adaptations do not need understanding. They do not need attention. They simply allow life to continue, to move, to exist, without hurry, without strain. You can imagine yourself among this calm diversity. Some senses that you do not possess still influence the world around you. Signals pass quietly, vibrations travel softly, and every living being follows its own gentle rhythm. There is nothing to act upon. There is nothing to notice. Everything flows at its own pace, and you are allowed to rest, to soften, to drift. Like the creatures guided by subtle currents, by faint signals, by hidden lights and sounds, you can relax into the quiet patterns that surround you. You can feel supported by a world where perception continues gently, calmly, and without effort, and so. As you lie here, let the knowledge of these silent, steady senses wash over you, allowing your awareness to slow, your body to settle, and your mind to drift deeper into sleep. All around the world, animals move quietly through their days, guided by their own awareness, not in haste, not in alarm, but in a gentle rhythm that has persisted for countless generations. They sense, they remember, and they adapt, all without hurry, all without expectation. Their minds hold traces of experience, subtle and soft, helping them navigate a world that shifts slowly yet constantly. Elephants, for example, carry memories that stretch across years. They remember quiet paths through forests, places where water gathers after long dry seasons. and familiar companions whose presence brings calm. These memories are not heavy, not burdensome. They are soft and steady guides, allowing elephants to move with assurance, step by gentle step, through landscapes that have shifted slowly over time. Nothing here is rushed. Nothing is forced. The memory itself flows calmly, like water finding its way over smooth stones, touching the earth and returning again and again. Birds, too, possess forms of intelligence that are quietly impressive. They're crow-ranging tools, a raven solving a subtle puzzle, or a parrot recalling a sequence of actions. All of these happen without urgency, without demand, simply because life presents gentle challenges, and these birds respond with slow, steady attention. Their problem-solving is not loud. It does not announce itself. It is subtle, like a soft wind bending leaves, or a small ripple spreading across still water. Each solution emerges naturally, without hurry, and every action carries forward into the next moment with calm continuity. Social bonds among mammals reflect the same patient awareness, a family of deer grazing together, a group of otters resting close to one another, or wolves moving as a pack through the forest. These connections are built over time. They are maintained with quiet gestures, subtle touches, shared presence. There is no rush, no demand for attention. Recognition, trust, and care flow gently through these social bonds, supporting the group as naturally as roots support a tree. Life moves steadily, without drama. Through these soft connections, animals feel emotions, but their responses are calm and measured. A mother bird hovering protectively over her nest, a dolphin nudging a companion in gentle play, or a fox pausing to observe before moving. These emotional expressions do not burst with urgency. They unfold gradually, softly influencing behavior, allowing animals to respond appropriately to what is around them. Every gesture, every pause, every movement is part of a steady flow, maintaining balance without tension, without rush. Learning and adaptation occur slowly over time, in small, persistent steps. The fox finds a new den after quietly exploring an area. A squirrel remembers the location of nuts buried weeks ago. A fish navigates shifting currents with careful, repeated movements. A bird adjusts its flight path in response to wind, turning with subtle precision. These changes are gradual, measured, and entirely sufficient for life to continue. Nothing is forced. Nothing is hurried. Nature does not demand perfection. It allows patience, and it allows persistence. Memory in animals works similarly. Elephants may revisit waterholes they haven't seen for years. Birds recall feeding patterns across seasons. Mammals recognize family members after long separations. These memories are like quiet threads, woven gently through time, connecting past and present, guiding life without urgency. They do not overwhelm, they do not insist, they simply exist, providing continuity, like a soft current beneath the surface of a calm lake. All of these processes awareness, memory, problem solving, adaptation, emotional response, exist without drama, without alarm, without sharpness. They are part of the slow, steady flow of life itself. Animals move, sense, and respond in harmony with the rhythms of their environments. They adjust naturally to change, to temperature, to light, to seasons, to the presence of others. Everything unfolds gradually. Nothing is forced. Nothing demands your attention. As you lie here, you can feel yourself surrounded by this same quiet flow. The awareness of other creatures moves softly around you, their memory guiding them, their senses gently informing their actions. They continue their lives calmly, just as you are allowed to rest. There is no need for effort. There is no need to act. There is no need to remember all of this existence from the smallest bird to the largest elephant, is quiet, steady, and patient. It reminds you that persistence does not need urgency. Connection does not need noise. Memory does not demand effort. Life itself continues naturally, and so can you. Your body softens, your mind slows. Thoughts drift like leaves on a gentle stream. You are supported by the continuity of life, by the patient awareness of the natural world, by rhythms that have persisted for millions of years. There is nothing to do, nothing to notice. Everything essential carries on quietly, allowing you to drift deeper, into calm, into stillness, into sleep. The oceans stretch across the planet like vast, calm blankets, resting quietly under the sky. They are deep, slow, and steady, moving gently without hurry. Beneath their surface, currents drift continuously, circulating warmth and coolness across the earth. These currents are not abrupt or urgent. They flow naturally, softly, like a river moving through a wide, quiet valley. Warm water rises gently from the tropics, travels slowly toward the poles, and sinks again in deeper, cooler layers. Cold water moves back toward the equator, returning with patience, never forcing its way. This slow exchange carries heat around the globe, helping maintain balance, softly, steadily, over time. It is a rhythm as old as the oceans themselves, quietly guiding climates, without effort. Without notice, the oceans are vast stores of energy. They absorb sunlight during the day, holding warmth patiently in their depths. At night, this heat is released slowly, gently tempering the air above. This movement is calm and predictable, never abrupt, never demanding attention. It shapes the gentle rhythm of winds and clouds, rainfall and fog, without any push or strain. Life within the oceans contributes to this balance in quiet ways. Plankton, drifting slowly near the surface, converts sunlight into energy, forming the base of marine food webs. They are tiny, yet their impact is steady and enduring. Plankton also influence the chemistry of the water, helping to maintain oxygen levels, cycling nutrients softly through the currents, supporting all life, both in the sea and on land. Marine life produces oxygen gently. Every breath taken by fish, every movement of algae and plankton, adds quietly to the flow of air above. The oceans and the atmosphere are connected in a slow dance. Gases move back and forth, energy shifts smoothly, and balance emerges naturally over time. No step is rushed, no moment is forced. Everything moves at its own pace. The interaction between ocean and atmosphere is subtle. Waves rise and fall. Breezes glide across the surface. Water evaporates slowly into clouds. Clouds drift and release gentle rainfall, returning moisture to rivers and soil. The ocean does not demand our notice. It simply continues its work, supporting climates, regulating temperatures, holding the planet in quiet stability, even deep within the ocean. Life persists calmly. Creatures in dark waters move slowly, adjusting to pressure, temperature, and faint light. They contribute to the cycles of carbon and nutrients, without hurry, without pause. This hidden work continues quietly, layer by layer, generation by generation. Oceans are patient keepers of balance. They do not act for attention. They do not force outcomes. They simply respond to what surrounds them, holding warmth, storing energy, circulating slowly and evenly, so the world above can continue gently, steadily, safely, as you lie here. You can imagine yourself resting by the ocean. The gentle currents move beneath the surface. Warmth is stored and released softly. Plankton drift like slow clouds of tiny stars. Every small movement contributes to the quiet balance of the planet. There is nothing for you to manage, nothing for you to monitor, The oceans continue their work without interruption. Without urgency, you can rest in this same calm, knowing the world is supported by patient, continuous systems. Your body softens, your breath flows steadily, your mind drifts like a leaf on. Gentle waves, carried along by the slow rhythm of life itself. You do not need to remember. You do not need to act. Everything essential is already happening, quietly, steadily, softly, as you drift deeper, into stillness, into sleep, beneath the calm, sunlit surface of the ocean. There is a world of quiet darkness, stretching deeper and deeper, until the light fades entirely. Here, life continues in soft, measured ways, adapted to conditions so different from those we know, yet steady and enduring. Pressure rests gently over this realm, immense and constant, shaping the forms of creatures that live there. They do not struggle against it. They do not resist. Their bodies are soft or flexible, designed patiently to endure the weight of water above. Every movement is slow, every action deliberate, as if the rhythm of life itself has slowed to match the ocean's depth. In this quiet darkness, light appears in the most delicate of forms. Bioluminescence glows softly, tiny flickers and gentle pulses. Like stars scattered across an endless night sky, some organisms use it to guide themselves, others to communicate, still others simply to exist with gentle illumination. Nothing is urgent, nothing shines harshly. The light flows calmly, softly touching the darkness, and then fades again, reappearing elsewhere in its natural rhythm. Hydrothermal vents form warm islands in this cold, quiet world. Mineral-rich water rises slowly from the depths, creating gentle plumes that drift and swirl. Life gathers here patiently, clusters of creatures finding nourishment and shelter in the steady warmth. Tube worms stretch upward, clinging to rock, while tiny microbes transform chemicals into energy. The ecosystem persists without rush, each part supporting the others quietly, without demand or hurry. Life in the deep ocean unfolds over long, measured cycles. Many creatures grow slowly. They reproduce with care, taking their time with each stage of life. Movements are soft, almost imperceptible, yet every action contributes to the continuity of the ecosystem. Change happens over years, decades, or even longer. A slow unfolding that feels like the patient breathing of the planet itself. Many species in these depths remain unknown. The vast darkness hides forms we have not yet seen, softly keeping their secrets for the rhythms of time to reveal. Exploration moves slowly, like a gentle hand lifting a curtain, showing glimpses of shapes, patterns, and movements, without urgency, without force. Even the act of discovery is calm, allowing the mystery to linger. While life continues undisturbed below, creatures of the deep ocean are reminders that life can exist in unexpected ways. They adapt gently to darkness, cold, and pressure. They persist without noise, without rush, without drama. Every pulse of light, every slow motion, every feeling and movement adds softly to the balance of this hidden world. As you rest, you can imagine yourself drifting alongside them. Slow currents move around you. Faint lights shimmer softly in the darkness. Life carries on patiently, carefully, without demand. The rhythms of the deep ocean mirror the rhythms within you, steady, calm, and unhurried. There is nothing to do here, nothing to understand, nothing to remember. You can allow yourself to soften completely, to settle into the slow, quiet pace of life that continues all around you. Pressure, darkness, light, warmth, movement all unfold naturally. All continue without your attention or enough. And so, as your body rests and your breath flows steadily, you drift with these currents of calm, carried deeper into quietness, deeper into stillness, into sleep. High above the land and sea, water moves in slow, gentle cycles, rising, drifting and settling again. It begins quietly, as sunlight warms rivers, lakes, and oceans. Drops of water slip upward in evaporation, rising softly into the air. No rush accompanies this movement, only a steady lifting, as if the water itself knows the rhythm of the world. As it ascends, the vapor cools and gathers, condensing into tiny droplets, forming clouds that float across the sky. These clouds drift silently, slowly shaping themselves, expanding and thinning with subtle grace. Sometimes they stretch high and thin, sometimes low and heavy, yet always moving gently, never forced, never hurried. Rime forests and vast rivers breathe alongside these clouds. Tall trees reach up, drawing water from the soil, releasing it slowly back into the air. Rivers carve calm pathways across the land, feeding lakes and wetlands. The atmosphere and the land exchange water softly, in a steady, balanced cycle. So life can continue without interruption. Atmospheric rivers flow across continents, streams of moisture carried by winds, moving patiently from oceans to land. They do not hurry, they do not shout, they deliver gentle nourishment in the form of rainfall, supporting forests, plains, and wetlands alike. Each drop returns to the ground slowly, soaking in, flowing, evaporating, beginning its quiet journey once more. Oceans themselves influence these cycles, storing warmth and releasing it gradually, guiding winds and currents, and shaping where clouds will drift. The interplay between sea and sky is soft, patient, and continuous. It repeats over days, over months, over seasons, always steady, always calm. Long-term climate patterns emerge from this slow exchange. Seasons change gradually, temperatures rise and fall softly. Rain comes and goes without urgency, yet always enough, always measured by the needs of the planet. These patterns extend across years, decades, centuries, shaping the gentle background of life. Even small movements, unnoticed by us, affect the flow of water in profound ways. A single drop evaporates from a leaf, joins a cloud, drifts across the sky, and returns as part of a rainfall somewhere far away. All of it happens calmly, steadily, predictably, without hurry, without demand. As you lie here, you can imagine yourself resting in the midst of this cycle. The gentle rise of vapor, the quiet drifting of clouds, the soft falling of rain, all moving at their natural pace. You do not need to follow every detail. You do not need to act or remember. The system carries on gently, independently, providing balance and life, while you drift closer to rest. Breath in, breath out, softly, steadily. Your body settles into its own rhythm, matching, in its quiet way, the steady flow of water above and round you. The rains will continue, the clouds will continue, the rivers and forests will continue, and you, too, may continue gently, softly, resting completely. There is nothing to do, nothing to follow, nothing to remember. Everything essential unfolds naturally, in quiet, unhurried cycles, allowing you to drift deeper and deeper into calm, into stillness, into sleep. Beneath the surface of the earth, slow movements have been unfolding for millions of years. Mountains rise gradually, layer by layer, rock by rock, with no rush, no sudden force, just a quiet persistence that stretches across time. Peaks that seem permanent to us were once low hills, and will one day soften again. Yet all of this happens gently, steadily, like the slow breathing of the planet itself, Plate tectonics move continuously, deep beneath the crust, with pressures so immense that time itself feels different. Continents drift ever so slowly, carrying forests, rivers, and life with them. Boundaries shift in silence, forming mountains, valleys, and ocean basins. These movements are patient. They do not hurry. They do not stop abruptly. They unfold in a rhythm so slow that a single lifetime feels like a blink, yet overends. These gentle shifts shape the face of the earth. Erosion and sedimentation trace the passage of time softly across the land. Wind brushes gently against cliffs and rocks. Rain washes away tiny particles, carrying them into rivers, lakes, and oceans. Sediment settles slowly at the bottom, forming layers that record the history of the world. Everything is gradual. Nothing is forced. The mountains, the plains, the valleys, all are reshaped softly, patiently, over spans of time that are hard to imagine, yet utterly natural. Volcanic activity adds another quiet rhythm. Magma rises slowly through the earth, sometimes reaching the surface with gentle warmth, sometimes remaining deep and still. When it does emerge, it flows like slow rivers of rock, shaping new land, nourishing soils, then settling into stillness again. These processes are steady, balanced by time, allowing life to adapt, to grow, to continue. Geological cycles stretch beyond human perception. Rocks are born, worn down and reborn. Mountains rise and crumble. Oceans deepen and fill. All of this unfolds quietly, with rhythms that persist from millions of years. Time moves gently here, without hurry, without alarm, allowing life, water, and air to continue in their calm cycles above. As you rest, you can imagine the slow movements beneath your feet. The crust shifts, mountains rise imperceptibly, sediments settle like soft layers of dust, and the earth breathes steadily through its quiet cycles. Nothing moves too fast. Nothing interrupts the balance. Every process is patient, measured, and calm. You do not need to follow it all. You do not need to understand it completely. The slow changes of the planet will continue independently, without any effort on your part. You are free to rest, to soften, to drift alongside the patient pulse of the earth. Your body relaxes further, matching the slow, deliberate rhythms beneath you. Your breath flows evenly, as mountains rise slowly, as oceans shift imperceptibly, as sediments settle gently. Everything essential continues quietly, without demand, without effort, supporting life and supporting your rest. And so you drift deeper, letting the slow, enduring cycles of the planet guide you, settling further into stillness, into calm, into sleep, all around the world. Life moves at many different speeds, and some of it moves more slowly than we can easily imagine. There are organisms that measure time differently, stretching their existence across centuries, even millennia, moving in a quiet, deliberate rhythm that feels almost eternal. Ancient trees stand as gentle witnesses to time. They grow slowly, layer by layer, ring by ring. Their roots settle deeply into the soil, and their branches reach skyward, responding softly to wind, light, and gravity. Seasons pass over them, year after year, yet they remain steady, patient, watching over the world in calm endurance. Each leaf, each droplet of water, each gust of wind is felt and integrated slowly, without urgency, without force. Some seeds lie dormant for decades or even centuries, waiting quietly for the right conditions. They do not hurry. They do not resist. They simply wait, softly holding life within them until warmth, moisture, and light arrive. Then, in their own time, they awaken, sending gentle roots into the soil and small shoots toward the sky. The cycle continues naturally, patiently, without hurry or concern. Coral reefs, too, grow slowly, layer upon layer of calcium carbonate, forming complex, vibrant structures over hundreds or thousands of years. Each tiny coral polyp contributes a small piece, adding steadily to the whole. Fish and other marine life move among these structures, flowing through a world shaped quietly, gradually. By countless tiny contributions over time, the reef adapts, responds, and endures without haste, without strain. Even the immortal jellyfish reminds us of life's gentle persistence. It can reset its life cycle, softly returning to a juvenile state and beginning again, without hurry, without alarm. It flows with time rather than fighting it, showing a quiet continuity that is patient and calm. Across species, life spans vary widely. Yet each organism follows its own rhythm. Some live for days, some for years, some for centuries. All persist, all adapt, all follow a steady, patient pace suited to their world. Nothing is rushed, nothing is forced. Each life moves naturally, in harmony with the time it is given. As you rest, you can imagine yourself surrounded by these quiet, enduring lives. The trees rise slowly above you. Seeds lie waiting beneath the soil. Corals form soft, intricate patterns under the sea. Jellyfish drift through the water, renewing themselves gently over and over. All of them move in a patient rhythm, allowing life to continue without urgency, without strain, without expectation. You do not need to hurry. You do not need to act. You do not need to remember. Everything essential continues on its own. Time moves slowly round. Your breath slows, your body softens, your mind drifts gently with the rhythms of life itself, patient, steady, and calm. And so you can sink deeper into stillness, feeling the quiet pulse of long-lived life, its slow endurance, its gentle continuity, supporting you, holding you. As you drift into sleep, high above the sleeping world, the moon drifts silently, circling Earth in a calm, steady rhythm. Its presence is quiet and unhurried, yet it shapes the planet in gentle, continuous ways, guiding patterns we often take for granted. The gravitational pull between Earth and the moon is soft but steady. It tugs on oceans, drawing water slowly toward the shore, forming tides that rise and fall with a measured rhythm. These tides do not rush. They do not hurry. They move predictably, back and forth, like a gentle breath, supporting life along coasts and rivers, allowing ecosystems to thrive in calm balance. The moon also stabilizes the rotation of Earth, holding our planet still steady over thousands of years. This quiet guidance shapes the seasons, ensuring that cycles of warmth and cold repeat reliably across years and centuries. Without this gentle influence, life would still exist, but rhythms would be less predictable, less steady, less calm. Life itself has long adapted to the moon's soft patterns. Tides guide the movements of fish, the spawning of corals, the migrations of sea turtles. Animals and plants alike respond, not with alarm or hurry, but with subtle awareness, moving in quiet harmony with the pull of the ocean, following a rhythm older than any human memory. Night after night, the moon casts its gentle light across the world. It illuminates quiet forests, still waters, and sleeping deserts. For millennia, humans and animals alike have rested under its soft glow. This light does not demand attention. It does not force action. It simply exists, showing patterns and shapes in the darkness, guiding life softly and gently through hours of night. Even the smallest effects are patient and continuous. Tides ripple gradually along shorelines. Water flows slowly in rivers influenced by lunar pull. Plants and animals adjust imperceptibly to these changes, living with the steady presence of this companion in the sky. Nothing is hurried. Nothing interrupts the calm flow. As you rest, you can imagine the moon moving gently above you, its gravity and light supporting the quiet balance of the earth. Oceans rise and fall softly. Seasons shift predictably. Life follows gentle patterns without urgency. All of this continues without effort, without demand, without notice. You do not need to follow it. You do not need to understand it. You do not need to act. Everything essential continues on its own. Your body softens further. Your breath flows evenly, matching the slow rise and fall of tides. Your mind drifts with the calm rhythm of the moon and earth, settling deeper and deeper into stillness, into quiet, into sleep. Far beyond our immediate perception, Earth moves quietly through the vastness of space, is steady, calm presence among the many planets of the solar system. Its place is gentle and measured, situated perfectly in what astronomers call the habitable zone. Here, the warmth of the sun is neither too strong nor too weak. It bathes the planet softly, providing just enough energy for a life to exist and continue, without haste, without pressure, without urgency. Compared to its neighboring planets, Earth seems balanced and calm. Mercury and Venus are close to the sun, their surfaces scorched, too hot for life as we know it. Mars, farther out, moves through cooler reaches, its deserts and dust storms unfolding slowly under pale sunlight. Earth remains in the middle, moving at its own steady pace, receiving warmth and light that are just enough to nurture oceans, clouds, forests, and creatures of every kind. Even farther away, Jupiter drifts in its immense orbit, a giant with gravity that acts like a gentle shield. It captures many wandering asteroids, slowing or redirecting their paths, and in doing so, it reduces the number of potential collisions with Earth. This influence is quiet and continuous. It does not announce itself. It does not demand recognition. It simply exists, a subtle guardian of the inner planets, allowing Earth to continue its gentle rotation, its seasons, its tides, and its cycles without interruption. The sun provides energy that flows steadily across the planet, warming oceans, soils, and air. It drives gentle winds, soft rain, and slow-moving clouds. This energy supports photosynthesis, the quiet transformation of sunlight into nourishment, feeding plants and, in turn, feeding animals. It encourages the cycles of water, of air, of life itself. Each photon of sunlight contributes to a calm balance, flowing without demand, allowing the planet to maintain an even, patient rhythm beneath the surface. Earth is protected by a magnetic field. It rises from the slow rotation of liquid iron deep within the core, spreading outward into space like an invisible shield. This field deflects charged particles from the sun, quietly maintaining the stability of the atmosphere. Without it, life would be exposed, and yet, the magnetic field persists without interruption, moving continuously, steadily, like the slow, quiet pulse of the planet itself. It does not require recognition. It does not insist on attention. It simply exists, providing calm, gentle protection to every living being on the surface. Earth's position, its protective companions, its flow of energy, and its magnetic shield all contribute to a delicate equilibrium. Life does not need to hurry to survive. It does not need to struggle against forces beyond its comprehension. Everything essential unfolds naturally, patiently and gently. Cycles of day and night, of warmth and coolness, of growth and rest, follow these quiet patterns without urgency. Even the smallest processes contribute to the balance. Oceans reflect sunlight. Air currents distribute warmth slowly. Sails store moisture and nutrients. Plants grow at their own pace. Animals move according to natural rhythms. Nothing is forced. Nothing is rushed. The entire planet hums in calm synchrony with the solar system round it, each element supporting the other, quietly, steadily, without interruption, as you lie here. You can imagine yourself floating alongside Earth, feeling its steady orbit round the sun, its slow rotation, its protective shields, its gentle warmth. Everything continues without your notice. Everything continues without demand. The planet, the sun, the giant planets, the magnetic field, all move in quiet balance, supporting life, supporting calm, supporting you. You do not need to act. You do not need to understand. You do not need to follow. You are held by the steady rhythms of the Earth and the solar system. Your body softens. Your breath flows evenly. Your mind drifts gently with the slow, measured movements of the cosmos, settling deeper and deeper into stillness, into calm, into sleep. Time stretches quietly round you. Orbits continue. Seasons turn softly. Life persists naturally. And you, in this moment, can rest completely, supported by the gentle, continuous pulse of a balanced, nurturing planet. Far out in the vast expanse of space, Earth moves quietly in its orbit around the sun, carrying oceans, forests, and life in a gentle, steady rhythm. Its position is calm and precise, neither too close nor too far from the sun. Here, in the habitable zone, warmth and light drive softly, enough to nourish oceans and forests, enough to allow life to unfold naturally, without hurry, without strain, without demand. Compared to its neighbors, Earth seems uniquely balanced. Mercury, close to the sun, shimmers with heat, its surface hardened and dry. Venus, shrouded in thick clouds, traps heat slowly, creating a world of quiet, intense warmth. Farther out, Mars drifts in cooler reaches, its deserts and mountains shaped gently by wind and dust. Earth rests between them, receiving light, warmth, and energy in a steady, measured way. Its orbit is calm, unhurried, predictable, allowing life to continue in continuous, peaceful cycles, even beyond the inner planets. Jupiter drifts silently, a giant guardian. Its gravity pulls at wandering asteroids and comets, redirecting many of them away from Earth. This influence is patient and quiet, occurring over centuries and millennia, without drama, without abrupt motion. The giant planet's presence supports stability, allowing life to flourish gently on the surface of Earth. While the solar system continues its slow, steady dance, the sun's energy flows calmly to Earth. It warms oceans, air, and soil in a measured, reliable rhythm. It drives gentle winds and slow-moving clouds, caressing forests and deserts, mountains and rivers. This steady energy encourages the cycles of life, from the smallest plant to the largest animal, all unfolding according to their own pace. Nothing is hurried. Nothing demands attention. The sun's warmth is constant and patient, supporting life in a gentle embrace. Beneath the surface, the magnetic field quietly protects the planet. It rises from the slow rotation of liquid iron deep within Earth's core, spreading outward into space like an invisible shield. This field deflects charged particles from the sun, preventing disruption to the atmosphere. It does not announce itself. It does not require recognition. It simply persists, moving continuously, steadily. Like the slow heartbeat of the planet itself, life is sustained quietly, calmly, safely, without urgency or demand. The combination of position, shielding energy, and magnetic protection creates a planet in remarkable balance, Earth's climate remains steady. Seasons unfold predictably, oceans, rivers, and winds move at their natural pace. Life adapts gently to these patterns, never rushed, never forced, moving in harmony with the slow, measured pulse of the planet. As you rest, you can imagine Earth floating calmly through space, its orbit steady, its rotation gentle, its magnetic shield softly guarding the air and oceans, its warmth provided steadily by the sun. Nothing demands your attention, nothing requires your effort. You are surrounded by quiet rhythms, holding you, supporting you, allowing your body and mind to settle. Breath in, breath out, slowly, steadily, matching the calm, continuous cycles of the Earth and solar system. Orbits continue, seasons continue, life continues, and you may drift even more gently into stillness, into quiet, into sleep. Far above, the night sky stretches quietly, a vast, calm expanse that has been unfolding for billions of years. Stars twinkle softly, distant suns scattered across darkness, each shining with its own gentle rhythm. Some are warm and steady, some cool, soft, fading slowly in the distance. Their light travels across immense spaces, reaching Earth after years, centuries, or even millennia, carrying warmth and color in a patient, measured flow. Galaxies swirl slowly in the cosmos, vast collections of stars moving together in silent harmony. They drift, spin, and shift over years, their patterns unfolding so gradually that a single lifetime is but a fleeting moment in their calm. Enduring dance, clusters of stars, dust, and gas move without urgency, forming shapes and spirals, continuing their cycles without hurry, without demand, without force. The light from distant stars travels in steady paths, crossing unimaginable distances before it reaches us. It moves gently, quietly, so slowly that time itself feels stretched. We see it here and now, but it began its journey long before humans walked the earth. Its journey is patient, continuous, and unhurried, connecting the farthest reaches of the cosmos to the world beneath our feet. Earth, in this vastness, is a small and gentle presence. It orbits the sun quietly, rotates steadily, and hosts life in a delicate, patient balance. From this cosmic perspective, our planet is part of a larger story, a subtle thread woven into the vast tapestry of the universe. Everything moves according to its own rhythm, slow, calm, and unpressured. Cosmic cycles continue endlessly. Stars are born in clouds of gas. They live their quiet lives, shining steadily. They fade and die, returning matter back into space. Galaxies collide over millions of years. Black holes slowly consume and release energy, and the universe itself expands gently, carrying galaxies, stars, and planets apart in a steady, patient motion. Nothing hurries, nothing insists. Everything simply unfolds as you lie here. You can imagine the vastness surrounding Earth. Stars stretch across the sky. Galaxies spin in quiet motion. Light travels in calm, endless space. And the universe continues its gentle expansion. You are a quiet part of this enormous flow, held in the patient rhythm of cosmic time. There is nothing to do, nothing to hurry, nothing to force. Breath in, breath out, softly, evenly. Your body settles further. Your mind drifts with the steady pulse of the cosmos, floating gently among distant suns, slowly, softly, deeper and deeper into calm, into stillness, into sleep. All around us, life continues quietly, moving in rhythms that stretch far beyond any single lifetime. Among all the creatures and plants of this world, humans exist as a gentle part of Earth's vast, interconnected systems. We share the air, the water, the soul, the energy flowing from the sun, and the cycles that have persisted for millions of years. Our presence is soft and subtle compared to the slow, patient movement of life, yet we are deeply connected, quietly intertwined. Humans depend on ecosystems in ways that are often invisible. Forests breathe slowly, absorbing sunlight and releasing oxygen. Rivers and lakes move with calm continuity, carrying nutrients and supporting plants, fish, and animals alike. The soil beneath our feet nurtures crops and trees, holding water and minerals gently. All of this functions quietly, steadily, allowing life, including human life, to continue without urgency. We move within these systems, part of a vast, gentle cycle, not separated from it, but softly entwined. Our bodies reflect the shared biology of life around us, the same cells, the same molecules, the same rhythms of growth and rest, flow through plants, animals, and humans alike. We are made from the same building blocks, connected to oceans, to forests, to soil, to air. Every breath we take, every drop of water we drink, every bite of food we eat moves through these shared systems and returns in quiet, patient cycles that support life continuously throughout history. Human cultures have recognized these connections. Stories, songs, and rituals have celebrated the sun, the rain, the forests, the animals that move silently through the world, and the quiet power of rivers and oceans, even without words. We observe the rhythms of nature, the rising and setting of the sun, the changing of seasons, the soft, steady pulses of life round us. This awareness is calm, reflective, and it reminds us of the quiet balance in which we exist. Our role is not to hurry or force, but to coexist, gently and patiently. We are part of this network, and our actions ripple softly through it, affecting soil, water, plants, and animals as naturally as a leaf falling into a river, as quietly as the wind bending a branch. We can move in harmony, following the gentle rhythms already present, supporting continuity without imposing strain. As you rest, you can imagine yourself surrounded by the slow, steady cycles of life. Forests breathe, oceans rise and fall, rivers move gently through valleys, animals drift through their habitats. With quiet purpose, and humans, too, are part of this flow, connected, participating, sustained by the same calm energy. There is nothing for you to fix, nothing for you to control. You do not need to remember or act. Everything continues naturally. The air moves, the water flows, life persists. You are held within these systems, supported by the gentle, patient balance of the planet. Your body softens, your breath flows easily. Your mind drifts with the quiet rhythm of the earth. You can rest fully, letting go, feeling the steady pulse of life around you, drifting deeper into calm, into stillness, into sleep. All around the world, life continues quietly, moving in rhythms that are soft, steady, and reliable. The planet itself hums with gentle daily cycles. Sunrise brings warmth slowly across the land, illuminating forests, rivers, and oceans alike. Sunset follows predictably, casting long, soft shadows and allowing night to settle gently over the earth. Each day rises and falls without urgency, without demand, and life moves with it in calm, natural rhythm. Seasons flow gradually, one into the next. Spring arrives with slow unfolding of buds and blooms. Summer brings warm land, long days, encouraging growth and abundance. Autumn follows, leaves drifting softly to the ground, preparing the land for rest. Winter comes quietly, covering forests, plains, and rivers in stillness, allowing life to slow, to breathe, to wait patiently for the return of warmth. These seasonal cycles repeat over and over, unceasing, predictable and calm. Animals follow their own gentle rhythms within these cycles. Birds migrate along invisible paths, traveling slowly across continents in harmony with the seasons. Fish and marine life move in patterns guided by tides and temperature, while land mammals respond to subtle changes in light and food availability, reproduction, feeding. Rest and movement all follow these natural patterns, quietly, steadily, without hurry. Life adapts to these cycles, flowing with them instead of against them, moving with patience and balance. Life persists through change, through storms. Through droughts and floods, species shift, evolve, and adapt gradually over time, even when environments transform slowly. Organisms find ways to survive, to adjust, to continue in new forms or places. Nothing in this process is rushed. Nothing is abrupt or forceful. Continuity comes from quiet resilience, from the patient unfolding of cycles repeated for millions of years. Earth itself is an ongoing process, a quiet, continuous movement of energy, matter, and life. Rivers carve paths slowly through rock. Oceans rise and fall with the tides. Clouds drift gently across skies. Mountains grow and erode over eons. Life flows with these processes, intertwined with the planet's gentle motion, part of a balance that is subtle, steady, and enduring as you rest. You can imagine these rhythms round you. The sun rises and sets gently. Seasons shift quietly, one into the next. Birds, fish, and mammals move softly within their cycles. Life continues steadily, persisting through change, flowing with the calm pulse of the earth itself. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to remember. You can simply breathe, feeling yourself held within these cycles. Supported by the quiet continuity of life, your body softens further. Your mind drifts with the patient rhythm of the planet. Every breath, every heartbeat moves with the calm, gentle flow of daily and seasonal cycles. And as you sink deeper into stillness, you are carried by the quiet, steady pulse of life on earth, deeper and deeper into calm, into stillness, into sleep. Everything continues quietly, without needing to be noticed. The world moves in soft layers of motion, some close, some far away, all of them gentle, all of them steady. There is a sense of continuity, not as an idea to hold, but as a feeling that simply exists. Like a low, constant hum, so familiar that it fades into the background. Life moves where it moves, rests where it rests. Water flows, air drifts, light arrives and fades, all without effort. Nothing pauses, nothing rushes. Moments blend into one another, not clearly separated, not marked or counted. Time feels wide and soft, stretching comfortably in every direction. Some things happen slowly, so slowly they are never noticed. Other things happen gently, so gently they leave no trace of effort. Growth, rest, movement, stillness, all exist together, woven into the same quiet fabric. You do not need to follow any of it. It does not ask for attention. It does not expect understanding. Breath moves in its own way, settling naturally, finding a calm rhythm without thought. The body rests where it rests, supported, held, unchanging in this moment. Thoughts may drift by, soft and unfocused, or they may fade completely, leaving only a sense of ease. There is space here, plenty of space. Nothing presses in, nothing pulls away. The world continues its quiet motion, layer after layer, cycle after cycle, without interruption and within the gentle continuity. Everything is already taken care of, already moving as it should, already at rest. The presence remains soft, unchanging, steady, There is no edge to reach, no end to rival it. Only this calm, this ease, this ongoing flow that does not need a name, does not need to stop. Beneath the surface, deep and quiet, the earth hums with a soft, steady presence that stretches far below the ground. There is a slow movement, gentle and continuous, as molten iron drifts and swirls within the core, moving without hurry, without resistance, creating a calm and seen field that reaches outward into space. This field stretches softly around the planet, an invisible embrace that surrounds everything, blending quietly with the endless sky. It shifts imperceptibly, sometimes very slowly, changing its poles over long spans of time, yet always moving gently, always steady, always present. Outside, the sun sends its own steady flow of particles, drifting across space in a calm, continuous stream. Some are deflected by the invisible field, others pass through in soft, gentle ways. The interaction is quiet, without friction or force, a patient, an hurried exchange that has continued for millions of years. Life carries on beneath this quiet. Chilled air flows, oceans move, creatures go about their gentle patterns, all under the soft protection of this unseen presence. Nothing hurries, nothing demands attention. The field simply exists steady, calm, patient, holding everything together in an enduring, gentle rhythm. Poles drift slowly. Polarity shifts happen across centuries, but the flow continues without interruption. There's a quiet order in the movement, a gentle consistency that supports the ongoing patterns above. You can imagine this calm, flowing presence beneath the surface, spreading outward, reaching far into space, interacting softly with solar winds, moving in a steady, patient rhythm, and changing in its quiet work, allowing the surface, the air, the oceans, and life itself to continue naturally, calmly, easily. Breath flows evenly, the body settles further, the mind drifts with the soft pulse of the planet, carried by currents of molten iron, blended with the quiet touch of space, moving gently, endlessly, without hurry, without end. Far above the quiet surface of the earth, the sun sends out a slow, steady flow of warmth and light. It drifts across the vastness of space, reaching oceans, forests, and plains, touching everything softly, evenly, without rush or demand. The energy arrives gently, warming the world, moving through air and water, flowing into life in a calm, continuous rhythm. The sun itself moves in quiet cycles, long, gradual pulses that rise and fall over time. Some moments are slightly brighter, some slightly dimmer, but always with a gentle rhythm that stretches across years and decades. Sunspots and soft flares appear and fade, like slow, quiet patterns on a distant surface, never urgent, never insistent, simply unfolding as part of a steady flow above the earth. The upper atmosphere responds softly to these influences. Charged particles drift and settle, moving in patterns that are calm and predictable, interacting quietly with the magnetic field, blending energy, air, and light in a gentle balance. These processes do not hurry. They do not strain. They simply exist, moving steadily, continuously. In their own natural way, over long spans of time, the sun itself remains stable. It rises and sets, year after year, its energy arriving at a gentle, even pace. Life moves with this rhythm, growing, resting, adapting, all without need for attention, without demand, without force. The cycles continue, soft and calm, and changing in their patient passage. You can imagine the warmth reaching quietly, flowing through air, water, and soil, touching forests, plains, rivers, and oceans, Light spreads softly. Energy drifts slowly. Everything continues naturally, effortlessly, without effort, without thought, without hurry. Breath flows evenly. The body rests. The mind drifts alongside this slow, constant rhythm. Carried gently by the quiet movement of light and warmth, the soft cycles of the sun, the calm pulse of energy across the earth, everything continues without need for notice, without pause, without interruption, moving in gentle, patient patterns endlessly, quietly, softly, without demand, without end. Above the surface of the earth, the air spreads gently in soft layers, each one resting quietly above the other, blending slowly into the vastness of space. The lowest layer moves closest to the ground, where winds drift softly over forests, rivers and oceans, and clouds gather and disperse with calm, natural rhythm. Here, the world experiences the gentle rise and fall of air, the slow shifts of weather and temperature, all moving steadily, without hurry, without effort. Above it, the next layer stretches quietly, more still, calmer, less touched by the movements below. Air drifts softly in broad, even currents, circling the planet with a quiet consistency. There is a sense of stability here, a gentle protection, a layer that holds warmth and balance without interruption. Higher still, the atmosphere becomes thinner, soft and light, moving in slow, gentle currents that are barely noticed. Temperatures shift gradually, particles drift quietly, and the layer above continues its calm work, absorbing what drifts up from below, and passing what needs to flow outward into the vast space above. Even higher, the air grows almost imperceptible, spreading wide and faint, so quiet that movement is subtle, slow, and unhurried. This layer reaches toward the edge of the Earth's presence, touching space in soft gradients, feeling the touch of solar winds, yet moving gently, steadily, patiently, without sudden change or interruption. The outermost layer drifts into the emptiness of space, thin and calm, stretching gradually, blending with the stars and the quiet of the universe beyond. It does not demand attention. It does not push or pull. It simply exists, holding a soft boundary between the world below and the vastness above, supporting the layers beneath it, without hurry, without need, without end. Each layer has its own subtle rhythm, softly moving, softly holding, allowing the earth below to rest and live in calm balance. Air rises and falls slowly. Temperatures shift quietly. Particles drift gently. And the layers together create a steady, continuous presence that moves naturally, continuously, endlessly, without effort, without interruption. Breath flows softly, evenly, matching the quiet, gentle pulse of air all round. The body settles further into stillness. The mind drifts with the calm motion of layers above, carried by soft currents, moving higher and higher, yet always steady, always gentle, flowing quietly, endlessly, without end, without pause, high above the quiet surface of the earth. Soft streams of energy drift gently from the sun, carried slowly across space, arriving at the outer edges of the planet's presence. Some of these particles follow invisible paths, moving along the calm, steady lines of the magnetic field, curving gently toward the poles, always in quiet, patient motion, without hurry, without demand, without interruption. As these particles enter the upper air, they mingle softly with the molecules round them, nudging them ever so slightly, causing them to glow with faint, gentle light. The colors spread in slow, fluid waves, folding and drifting across the sky, not rushing, not flickering sharply, but flowing in a continuous, serene rhythm, a quiet dance that has repeated for countless years, far in the north and far in the south, These soft displays appear, painting the sky with gentle greens, pale pinks, and soft blues. They move and stretch with a slow, patient grace, always above the still earth, always unfolding in calm, predictable patterns, blending quietly with night, and with the vast darkness beyond the atmosphere. The air itself participates gently in this dance. Molecules shift and bend softly. Energy flows through them without effort, and light drifts along, spreading in subtle, almost imperceptible currents. Nothing is abrupt. Nothing demands recognition. Everything moves in. As low, continuous harmony, soft and steady, a quiet bridge between the sun and the earth. You can imagine yourself lying beneath this gentle display, the slow, quiet lights moving above, the magnetic field holding them in patient lines, the sun sending its energy steadily across the distance, all flowing together in calm, continuous rhythm. There is nothing to follow. There is nothing to do. No action, no observation, no thought is required. Breath flows evenly, softly, naturally. The body rests, settling deeper with each quiet wave of light, each gentle current of energy, each slow, patient motion in the upper air. Everything continues, everything moves, everything flows softly, without pause, without interruption, without demand. And you drift alongside it, steady, calm, and hide deeper and deeper into stillness, deeper and deeper into sleep. Far above the quiet world, soft currents of energy drift gently through the air, moving slowly, softly, almost imperceptibly, through clouds, through the space between the ground and the sky, flowing in ways that have continued for countless years, sometimes in heavy clouds. Energy gathers in patient layers, building slowly, quietly, without rush, until a subtle spark arcs softly, dancing from one part of the sky to another, or reaching down toward the earth in a gentle, fleeting flash. The light and warmth pass quickly, then settle back into calm stillness, leaving the air serene and balanced once more. Across the whole planet, a quiet electric presence flows, linking the sky, the land, and the oceans together. It moves steadily, continuously, shifting softly through clouds, between storms and across calm skies, like a gentle heartbeat that never stops, holding a subtle balance in the atmosphere without demand, without pressure, without hurry. Even in the smallest moments, energy drifts gently in the air, soft static charges brushing over leaves, across stones, flowing quietly through soil and water. Nothing in it demands attention. Nothing in it interrupts the calm of the world. It simply exists, moving in slow, patient currents, part of a quiet network that connects the earth to the sky. Storms themselves move slowly, carrying energy in soft, measured ways. Thunder drifts through the air, low and distant, and rain falls with gentle, even rhythm, each drop part of the calm transfer of energy, releasing what has been stored, returning balance to the atmosphere. Everything follows its own gentle rhythm, flowing naturally, evenly, without effort or urgency. The planet holds this energy quietly, the balance maintained across oceans, forests, deserts, and plains. Nothing interrupts its flow. Nothing forces it. It simply moves, continues, and settles softly, steadily, endlessly. You can imagine yourself beneath this calm network, surrounded by soft currents of energy, feeling the gentle rhythms of sky, air, and clouds, the patient heartbeat of the atmosphere, and the quiet settling of all things into balance. Breath flows evenly, body softens further, mind drifts alongside the slow, patient flow of energy above and round, and you sink deeper and deeper, ever deeper, into stillness, into calm, into sleep, Beneath your feet, the ground rests quietly. Soft layers of earth stretching slowly beneath the surface. A gentle foundation that supports life without hurry or interruption. The soil is not empty. It is alive in subtle, patient ways, filled with tiny movements and slow, steady processes that continue day and night. Mostly unseen, yet always present. Within this soft, dark earth, countless microorganisms drift and move, their motions so small and slow that they are barely noticed. They transform, recycle, and release nutrients quietly, feeding plants and trees, nourishing roots, supporting the gentle, continuous flow of life above. Everything happens without effort, without demand, each tiny action blending naturally into the whole, like the slow turning of seasons or the steady pulse of the air. Nutrients move gradually through soil, rising to feed leaves, stems, and fruits, then returning softly to the earth as plants rest or decay. Every particle of matter is part of this endless, calm cycle, passing slowly from the smallest root tip to the vastness of forests, to rivers, and back into the soil again, without interruption, without force, without hurry. Life above and below the ground is intertwined. Plants reach gently into the soil with their roots, absorbing what they need in patient rhythms. Insects, worms, and other creatures move quietly through the layers, eating the soft processes that continue unseen. Soil holds water, stores energy, and carries carbon steadily, keeping it safe, keeping it balanced, allowing life to flourish gently on the surface. The movements beneath the surface are subtle, flowing, shifting, transforming, yet all of it is calm and continuous. Nothing is abrupt. Nothing demands attention. Everything exists in patient harmony, supporting life above, holding energy and nutrients, maintaining balance quietly, endlessly. As you rest, you can imagine yourself sinking gently into the soil, feeling its soft, quiet presence. The slow, patient hum of life beneath the surface, microbes drifting, roots reaching, nutrients cycling, all moving softly in steady, endless rhythm. Breath flows naturally, evenly. The body relaxes further. The mind drifts with the gentle, unseen currents beneath the earth, carried along with the slow, continuous pulse of life in the soil, deeper and deeper into calm, deeper and deeper into stillness, into sleep. Beneath everything, the earth rests quietly, its foundation solid and steady, formed over countless, slow, patient moments. Rocks lie gently upon one another, layers of stone stretching across continents, supporting forests, rivers, and plains without demand, without hurry, without effort. Some rocks formed from cooling molten flows, slowly solidifying in deep, calm warmth. Others settled gently in layers, pressed over ages into quiet, soft strata. Still others changed gradually beneath pressure and heat, transforming into new forms in gentle, imperceptible ways. Everything moves slowly, naturally, without abruptness, without urgency, continuing its own quiet rhythm over years. Within these stones, minerals drift and grow, crystals forming patiently, expanding in soft, steady patterns, catching light in subtle ways that reflect the calm energy of the earth. They shift, harden, and settle without notice, holding themselves in place through quiet, enduring stability. The earth's crust itself rests in layers, supporting life above, holding water, soil, and nutrients, shaping gentle hills and valleys, all in patient balance, moving and shifting with the slow pulse of the planet. Over time, mountains rise and erode, canyons deepen and soften, without hurry, or without interruption, a quiet, continuous unfolding of form and structure. Beneath it all, stability persists. Even as wind brushes over the land, as rivers trace their slow paths, as ice and rain touch mountains and plains, the foundations remain calm, unmoving in their own patient way, providing a soft, steady support for all life above. You can imagine resting upon this quiet base, feeling the slow, calm presence of rock and mineral beneath, crystals growing gently, layers of stone settling softly, the steady, enduring pulse of the earth beneath your body. Breath flows evenly, muscles relax, mind drifts with the slow, patient rhythm of the ground beneath, carried by quiet layers, by crystal growth, by gentle shifts that take place over years, deeper and deeper into calm, deeper and deeper into stillness, into sleep. High above the quiet surface of the earth, air drifts gently, moving in slow, steady rhythms that stretch across oceans and continents. Some flows travel low, close to the land and water, carrying soft currents that brush over forests, plains, and rivers, moving without hurry, without interruption, always in gentle, continuous motion. Higher above, the air drifts in long, calm streams, stretching across the sky in quiet, patient pathways. These upper currents move slowly, almost imperceptibly, shaping the flow of weather far below, without demand, without urgency, blending seamlessly into the vastness around them. Across the globe, pressures rise and fall softly, pushing air in gentle, measured ways. Some regions feel calm, with still air drifting lazily, while others feel the slow pull of movement as air moves from one place to another in quiet, continuous exchange. Everything blends naturally, without force, without abrupt change, as the planet balances itself in soft, enduring rhythm. Even the rotation of the earth contributes to this gentle flow. Air bends softly in response, moving in curved paths, spreading warmth and coolness gradually across land and sea, joining with the slow, patient cycles of seasonal change, flowing in patterns that repeat quietly, year after year, without pause. Seasons shift gently, carrying air with them. Warmth drifts across continents. Coolness settles into valleys and plains. Clouds gather and dissolve. Winds drift across oceans, and the atmosphere moves in calm, continuous ways, all part of the quiet, ongoing circulation that surrounds the earth. You can imagine this soft, steady motion above you, air moving endlessly, currents drifting silently, pressures rising and falling gently, flowing with the calm, patient pulse of the planet. Breath flows evenly, body settles further, mind drifts along with the slow, gentle movements of air and sky, softly, steadily, quietly, deeper and deeper into stillness, deeper and deeper into sleep. Far to the north and the south, where the land rests quietly under the low, calm sun, ice stretches in slow, steady layers, forming vast sheets that have been gathering for thousands, even millions of years. Snow falls softly, accumulating gently over time, pressing lightly on the layers beneath it, folding, compressing, and settling in a quiet, patient rhythm that no one needs to watch, no one needs to mark. Each flake becomes part of something larger, a slow, continuous process that moves without demand, without hurry, without interruption. Glaciers begin in this quiet accumulation, soft, dense snow gradually turning into ice. They gather slowly on mountain slopes, creeping downward over centuries in gentle, imperceptible motion. Beneath their frozen surfaces, pressure shapes the ice, flowing quietly, sliding smoothly over rock and soil, adapting, bending, always patient, always steady, moving in ways that are slow enough to almost go unnoticed, yet consistent enough to reshape the land gently, inevitably, without urgency, without effort. Across the polar regions, ice sheets and ice caps stretch in endless expanses, holding stillness in vast, white plains. Here, the climate is calm, quiet, and extreme in its patience, cold enough to preserve layers of time, softly storing the slow history of seasons, winds and snowfall. The air is still. The snow drifts without rush. The glaciers respond slowly to subtle shifts in temperature, flowing gently, imperceptibly, carrying their weight across valleys, into the lowlands, toward the sea, always moving, always present, without hurry, without need. Ice itself is alive in its patient motion. Crevices form slowly, ice bends and shifts quietly, moving round obstacles in ways that are soft, natural, continuous. Glaciers sculpt mountains and carve valleys in gradual, steady strokes, a work that takes centuries to unfold, so slow that it is barely noticed, yet undeniable in the gentle falls left behind. Even when storms sweep across these frozen lands, even when winds move across ice caps, everything carries on in soft, enduring rhythms, maintaining balance and quiet continuity over long spans of time. Beyond their surfaces, ice holds memories of the past, layer upon layer of frozen water containing tiny pockets of air, trapped particles, whispers of ancient climates. These archives tell stories without words, quiet histories stored in patient stillness, waiting silently, holding gentle evidence of the long, slow dance between atmosphere, ocean and land. Every layer, every pocket, every crystal rests in calm continuity, softly recording the passage of time, without demand, without urgency, without interruption. As you imagine these quiet expanses, the glaciers creeping slowly, the ice sheets resting patiently, the polar winds drifting softly over frozen plains, you can let your own breath join this rhythm. Soft, steady, even. The body settles firm, muscles relax, mind drifts with the patient motion of ice, carried along with the slow flow of glaciers, the gentle accumulation of snow, the quiet, enduring presence of the polar lands. Everything continues without effort, without notice, without need. The ice moves, the snow falls, the layers record time. The glaciers flow, and you sink deeper, deeper into stillness, deeper into calm, deeper into sleep. All around, the world hums softly, with vibrations that move quietly through air, water, and earth. These vibrations are gentle, continuous, flowing without demand, without attention, so subtle that they are often unnoticed, yet always present, always steady, always there. Birds calling calm, measured ways, their voices drifting slowly through forests and valleys, blending seamlessly with the whisper of wind in the trees, with the soft rustle of leaves, with the distant movement of water over rocks. Other creatures, from insects to mammals, send out signals through sound, quiet rhythms that move gently through space, carrying information without hurry, without urgency, without need. The earth itself produces low, steady hums, soft pulses that travel through land and sea, echoing faintly in caves, over plains, across oceans. Some of these vibrations are almost imperceptible, a slow, calm rhythm that underlies every movement above it, shaping the world quietly, without interruption, without insistence, without pause. Water carries sound in its own gentle way. Ripples and currents move softly, passing vibrations from one place to another, always smooth, always steady, spreading quietly through lakes, rivers, and oceans. The air moves in similar ways, soft currents carrying tones far and wide, blending with distant echoes, blending with the slow, patient pulse of the land and sky. Some spaces resonate naturally, mountain valleys, quiet forests, caves and hollow stones, holding sound softly, allowing it to drift and linger for a while, then fade without notice. Nothing here demands focus. Nothing insists on attention. Everything flows in calm, continuous cycles. As you rest, you can imagine the soft vibration surrounding you, the gentle pulse of air and water, the faint calls of animals drifting slowly through forests and fields, the subtle resonance of spaces holding sound quietly, all moving naturally, continuously, without effort, without urgency. Breath flows evenly, the body softens further, the mind drifts with the slow, patient rhythm of vibrations in the natural world, carried gently by air, water, and earth, deeper and deeper into calm, deeper and deeper into stillness, deeper and deeper into sleep. Light drifts quietly across the world, soft and steady, moving without effort, without hurry, touching land, water, and bearing gentle, patient rhythms. It bends and shifts as it passes through air and water, folding softly round leaves, round rippling streams, passing through droplets that catch it and scatter it slowly, creating subtle glimmers and delicate patterns that flow and fade naturally. Sometimes, after gentle rain, light stretches across the sky in slow, soft hooks, rainbows rising calmly, folding quietly through clouds and mist, colors blending gently, fading gradually into the pale blue of the air, without force, without need, without interruption. Halos may appear, faint rings round the sun or moon, soft, even patient, moving gently with the drifting clouds, always calm, always steady, always there. The atmosphere itself shapes the light in quiet ways. It scatters, softens, and filters, allowing warmth and illumination to spread evenly across forests, plains, and oceans. Morning light creeps slowly across the land, settling softly on trees. Rivers and hills, evening light fades gradually, softening edges, dimming colors, blending with shadows in a calm, continuous rhythm that repeats each day, predictable, gentle, and hide. Some creatures carry light within themselves, soft bioluminescence glowing quietly in forests, caves, and wetlands, a faint, steady shimmer that drifts and flickers without urgency, without demand, simply existing as part of the calm. Patient flow of life. Their glow mingles gently with shadows and ambient light, softly touching leaves, water, and air, moving in slow, natural pulses that blend with the rhythm of the world. Seasonal light changes drift gradually through the year. Days lengthen in warmth and fade in the cooler months, shadows stretching softly, retreating slowly, while sun and moon touch the land in quiet cycles, bringing calm transitions without abruptness or rush. The light moves gently across the landscape, folding over mountains, forests, and oceans, touching every corner of the earth in a patient, steady rhythm. You can imagine this soft illumination surrounding you, light bending, scattering, glimmering in quiet ways, blending with shadow, drifting through air and water, touching leaves, rivers, and the gentle movement of life. Breath flows evenly, body softens deeper, mind drifts with the calm. Continuous flow of light in the world, moving gently, slowly, endlessly, carried by the quiet rhythm of nature, deeper and deeper into stillness, deeper and deeper into sleep, all around, within and beneath the surface of life. Tiny particles move softly, quietly, shaping the world in ways that are calm, steady, and continuous. Atoms of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen drift gently, joining slowly in quiet patterns, forming the soft foundations of everything that grows, rests, or flows. They connect and fold without hurry, settling into bonds that hold steadily, without effort, without rush, without need for notice. Water moves calmly among them, slipping slowly into spaces between molecules, blending, carrying, dissolving, softly supporting every tiny process that unfolds within leaves, roots, sails, oceans. And living cells, it flows without insistence, without sudden change, holding everything gently together in steady balance, as if the world itself were breathing softly in and out. Chemical reactions happen quietly. Molecules shifting, combining, separating, all in patient, gentle rhythms. Nothing hurries, nothing demands attention. Even the smallest changes, the subtlest exchanges, move slowly, continuously, calmly, creating energy, sustaining growth, supporting life in soft, invisible ways, within cells, within soils, within water and air. Biochemical processes continue day and night, flowing in quiet loops, releasing what is needed, absorbing what is left, always balanced, always steady, softly maintaining the continuity of life without interruption. The tiniest movements ripple outward, touching roots, branches, wings, fins, and the soft pulse of every living being. Yet all happens gently, quietly, almost unnoticed. Stability rests in these patterns. The bonds, the molecules, the flows of water and energy, all hold themselves in calm patience, creating a world that continues endlessly, without sudden change, without demand, without effort. Life carries on in these slow, steady rhythms, supported by invisible flows that move softly through the earth, the air, and the water. You can imagine these quiet currents surrounding you, molecules drifting, bonds forming, reactions unfolding, water moving gently through everything. The subtle, calm pulse of life continuing without hurry, without urgency, without end. Breath flows evenly, the body softens further, the mind drifts with the quiet, continuous rhythm of life at the tiniest scale, carried by slow, steady molecular cuts, deeper and deeper into calm, deeper and deeper into stillness, deeper and deeper into sleep. Deep inside every living being, there are threads of quiet presence, folded gently within cells, holding patterns that stretch softly through time. These threads carry the memory of life, quiet, steady, almost invisible, moving without hurry, without demand, simply existing, quietly, endlessly. They pass from one life to another, softly, gently, like a slow, flowing current. Each generation receives them without effort, without attention, without thought. And life continues, patient and calm, folding naturally into what comes next, sometimes. Almost imperceptibly, small changes drift through these threads, like tiny ripples on a still pond, so subtle that they barely alter the steady flow, yet allowing slow, gentle variation, quiet adaptation, soft transformation, all unfolding without urgency, without alarm, without need. Across the vast continuity of time, these threads remain steady, holding the quiet essence of life, linking creatures across oceans and forests, across mountains, deserts, and plains, sharing a calm, invisible history, woven softly through everything that moves, rests, or grows. You can imagine this presence all around you, tiny threads drifting quietly through every cell, through every life, through every moment, moving in slow, patient patterns, holding continuity, holding calm, without demand, without expectation, without end. Breath flows naturally, evenly. The body softens, settles, lets go. The mind drifts with the slow, patient pulse of life itself, carried gently by invisible currents, deeper and deeper into stillness, deeper and deeper into calm, deeper and deeper into sleep. All around the quiet world, life moves softly, patiently, touching one another in gentle, steady rhythms, sometimes close, sometimes distant, always flowing without effort, without demand, without hurry. Some lives meet and share in a calm, mutual way, each giving a little, each receiving a little, folding quietly into one another's presence, supporting each other softly, steadily, over time. This cooperation is not forced. It happens naturally, without urgency, like the slow unfolding of sunlight across leaves. Although a gradual drift of water over smooth stones, other lives simply drift alongside one another, sharing space, sharing the quiet air, without touching, without changing, without interruption. They coexist softly, peacefully, like two clouds moving slowly across the same sky, their paths overlapping gently, their presence noticed only in the calm balance they create together. Sometimes, one life draws subtly from another, without haste, without force, taking softly what it needs while the other continues quietly alongside. Nothing snaps, nothing breaks. Life adapts slowly, almost imperceptibly, folding into the rhythm of the world. Each movement a quiet adjustment, each exchange a patient, natural process. Over long stretches of time, these subtle interactions continue, woven into the steady pulse of forests, rivers, deserts, and oceans, carried along by the soft currents of the earth itself. Through many generations, these connections persist. Creatures, plants, fungi, and microbes shift and respond ever so slowly, co-evolving in gentle ways, their forms, habits, and cycles adjusting softly, never rushed, never forced, always part of the calm, continuous flow of life. Ecosystems themselves rest in this quiet balance, every relationship a soft thread in an endless web, every action part of a steady, gentle pattern, supporting the whole world without effort, without interruption, without demand. Even the smallest movements, the faintest exchanges, carry life forward in patient continuity. Roots touch softly, leaves brush against one another in the breeze. Birds drift along branches, insects hover and settle. Water flows and nourishes all quietly, and the world continues its calm work, layer upon layer, year upon year, without urgency, without pause, without expectation. You can imagine yourself lying within this quiet tapestry, feeling the gentle rhythm of life surrounding you, the soft interweaving of beings and energy, each thread moving slowly, steadily, invisibly, each presence folding naturally into the others, a continuous, unbroken flow that stretches across land, sea, and air. Nothing needs attention, nothing needs action, all exists quietly, gently, endlessly. Breath flows evenly, the body softens further, the mind drifts with the slow, patient pulse of life itself, the calm, continuous weaving of relationships, the endless, gentle dance of coexistence in nature, deeper and deeper into stillness, deeper and deeper into calm, deeper and deeper into sleep. All round the quiet earth, gentle expanses of life stretch slowly across land and water, each place soft, patient, and steady in its own quiet rhythm. Forests rise in calm layers, trees and plants resting in slow, continuous growth, leaves drifting softly in the wind, roots reaching gently into the soil, everything moving in quiet patterns that are subtle, steady and unhurried, folding naturally into the world around them, carrying the soft pulse of life into every quiet corner of the canopy. Breath flows evenly, body softens, mind drifts with the slow sway of branches and the whisper of leaves, settling gently, deeply, peacefully. Grasslands stretch across plains with a patient rhythm, grasses waving softly in warm, steady breezes, creatures moving in slow, deliberate steps, their lives flowing with the calm pulse of the land. Sunlight spreading evenly across hills and valleys, touching each blade and soft mound with gentle, even warmth, folding quietly into the endless motion of the earth itself. Muscles relax, thoughts drift like the soft sway of tall grass, settling with a sense of gentle, steady presence. Deserts lie in quiet stillness, sand stretching in gentle, flowing waves, rock formations resting patiently through time, temperature shifting slowly from warmth to coolness and back again. Life moving softly in small, careful motions, always in rhythm with the calm cycles of sun and wind, carrying the patient heartbeat of arid lands across wide, empty spaces. Breath eases further, mind drifts with the slow, patient flow of heat, sand, and shadow, softly, evenly, without effort. Tundra spreads quietly under low, gentle light, snow and ice resting in patient layers, plants and small creatures moving slowly in measured ways, adapting gently to the still, cool air, folding softly into the quiet rhythm of frozen land. Every movement subtle, every shift calm and unhurried, holding life gently in soft, steady balance. Body sinks deeper, mind drifts with the soft hush of cold. Distant lands, slowly, gently, quietly. Aquatic realms flow endlessly, water moving softly through oceans, lakes, and streams, ripples spreading without effort, currents drifting steadily, creatures moving gently, carried by calm. Continuous motion, light filtering slowly through the surface, and every movement blends naturally into the quiet pulse of the seas, folding smoothly into the endless rhythm of tides and waves. Breath eases fully, thoughts float gently like water over sand, softly, evenly, quietly. All these biomes exist together in patient harmony, each adapting gently to its environment, moving slowly, carrying life across land, water, and air, continuing naturally, continuously, without interruption, softly, steadily, endlessly, allowing the earth to rest quietly, and you, too, to rest with it, sinking calmly, fully, peacefully. All round the quiet world, gentle shapes and patterns unfold slowly, woven softly into leaves, rocks, shells, and clouds, carrying a calm rhythm that stretches through land, water, and air. Some forms repeat in delicate, patient fractals, small shapes echoing within larger shapes, branching slowly like trees reaching upward. Veins of leaves drifting outward, rivers splitting gently into streams, or moving in soft, steady repetition, blending naturally with the quiet rhythm of the earth. Breath flows evenly, body softens, mind drifts with a calm, quiet unfolding of these gentle patterns, floating slowly, deeply, peacefully. Spirals appear quietly in shells, in flowers, in whirlpools, turning softly round a center point, circling with patient continuity, folding into themselves over time, without hurry, without effort, always moving gently, always steady, always calm. Muscles relax further, thoughts soften, mind drifts with the slow, gentle rotation of spirals, folding naturally, drifting softly. Symmetry exists quietly in many creatures, shapes balanced gently, evenly, wings, leaves, and petals mirroring softly, each movement and growth aligning calmly, blending into the steady rhythm of life round it, folding into the world with ease, without demand, without notice. Breath eases fully, body sinks gently, mind floats with the soft, patient harmony of symmetry, slowly, evenly, quietly. Repeating structures extend across scales, tiny veins in leaves, ridges in rocks, ripples in sand, mirrored in forests, mountains, rivers, and coastlines, each repetition soft and natural. Linking small and large, near and far, all part of the quiet, continuous unfolding of the earth. Every form flows naturally into the next, like water moving over smooth stones, like wind passing slowly across fields, always calm, always steady, always present. Even the underlying mathematical patterns of nature drift quietly, unnoticed, unfelt, yet steady in every branch, shell and wave, supporting the gentle balance of life, softly shaping the world in calm, patient ways, without effort, without urgency, without pause. You can imagine yourself resting within this quiet web, surrounded by fractals, spirals, symmetry, and repetition, carried gently by the soft, steady pulse of patterns in the world, all flowing naturally, endlessly, seamlessly, body softening, mind drifting, sinking fully, completely, quietly into the stillness of the earth. All round the quiet earth, gentle rhythms move softly, folding through days and nights, through seasons, through oceans and skies, without hurry, without demand, without pause. The world itself breathes slowly in cycles, rising with the soft warmth of morning, settling with the calm fading of evening, all unfolding gently, predictably, patiently, carrying life along in quiet, steady motion. Seasonal changes drift softly across forests, plains, and mountains, warming and cooling, stretching and fading, touching every leaf, every branch, every creature, shaping movement and growth in gentle, continuous ways, never abrupt, never insistent, always calm, folding slowly into the endless pulse of the planet. The moon moves quietly across the sky, its soft light brushing gently over land and sea, its quiet pull shaping tides in patient, predictable rhythms, rippling slowly across oceans, lakes, and rivers, carrying water in soft, continuous flow, folding seamlessly into the slow, steady heartbeat of earth. Tides rise and fall like soft breaths, moving gently over shores, sands, and shallow waters, touching creatures who drift and move with them, folding all life naturally into the calm. Repeating cycles of water and moonlight, without urgency, without effort, without expectation. Within living beings, biological clocks keep pace quietly, tracking light, temperature, and subtle cycles, guiding sleep, rest, growth, and movement in steady, gentle patterns, all aligning naturally with the rhythms of the earth and sky, folding life into continuous, calm, unbroken flow. You can imagine resting quietly in the midst of these rhythms, the slow rise and fall of the sun, the gentle drift of the moon, the quiet flow of tides and seasons, all moving gently around you, carrying everything softly, evenly, naturally, your breath settling, body softening, mind drifting along the calm, continuous pulse of the world, deeper and deeper into quiet, deeper and deeper into stillness, deeper and deeper into sleep. All around the quiet world, energy moves softly and continuously, passing gently from one living being to another, flowing through forests, meadows, rivers, and oceans, never hurried, never forced, always steady, always calm. Plants reach slowly toward the light, absorbing warmth and light in gentle rhythms, carrying it quietly through their leaves and roots, storing energy softly within themselves, providing a calm, steady foundation for the life that depends on them. Creatures move among these plants in gentle ways, feeding, resting, and drifting in slow, patient patterns, passing energy onward, quietly, naturally. Each interaction soft and hurried, blending seamlessly into the rhythm of life, without urgency, without interruption, without effort, beneath the surface, in soil, water, and detritus, allowing energy to move gently through life, creating stability without effort, maintaining balance without interruption, all quietly supporting the continuous rhythm of the world. You can imagine this calm flow surrounding you, energy moving softly from roots to leaves, from leaf to herbivore, from herbivore to predator, and returning quietly to the soil, folding naturally, endlessly, into the gentle, continuous pulse of life, softly, evenly, without effort, without demand. Breath flows slowly, steadily. The body releases further into stillness. Mind drifts with a quiet, continuous motion of energy through life, carried gently by the calm, patient rhythm of nature, deeper and deeper into tranquility, deeper and deeper into quiet, deeper and deeper into sleep. All around, the earth continues in soft, patient motion, moving gently even when no one is watching, carrying on in quiet rhythms that require nothing, demand nothing, and unfold without effort, without pause, without notice. Rivers flow slowly, tracing gentle paths across land. Oceans drift softly, carrying warmth and currents through vast spaces. Winds move steadily across forests and plains. Clouds fold and drift in calm, quiet arcs, all without expectation, or without hurry, simply following their own natural pulse. Beneath the surface, sails breathe slowly. Microbes drift and interact in calm. Invisible currents, plants grow softly, stretching leaves toward light and steady, gentle rhythms. And creatures move in subtle, patient ways, following cycles that ripple quietly across the world. Systems overlap seamlessly. Water moves through air, soil, and roots. Energy passes from sun to plant, from plant to animal, from living things back to earth. Tides rise and fall with steady patience. Seasons shift softly, endlessly. Every process happens alongside the next, folding together in quiet, continuous harmony, without interruption, without effort, without finality. Life continues naturally, independently of observation, carrying on in its calm, patient flow, layers of existence moving quietly in tandem, each process balanced, each motion soft, all weaving together into the unbroken rhythm of the planet. You can imagine yourself resting within this ongoing quiet, the slow drift of rivers, the gentle sway of trees, the calm rise and fall of tides, the steady, continuous motion of life flowing around you, carried softly, evenly, effortlessly, body releasing, muscles melting into stillness, mind drifting with the endless, patient pulse of earth, deeper and deeper into calm, deeper and deeper into quiet, deeper and deeper into sleep. Even as you rest, the world continues quietly, softly, without pause. Life moves in ways that are often unseen, beyond the reach of human observation. Rivers flow gently through valleys, clouds drift slowly across the sky, winds brush over forests and plains. Oceans rise and fall with tides, and beneath their calm surfaces, creatures move and live in steady, patient rhythms. All of it continues without effort, without awareness, without demand. Many processes unfold entirely out of sight. Seeds germinate slowly beneath soil. Microbes drift through water and air, transforming nutrients and energy in quiet cycles. Rocks erode gradually. Mountains shift imperceptibly. And life adapts naturally to the subtle changes around it. Nothing insists on recognition. Nothing requires interruption. Everything progresses softly, in its own time, as it has for millions and billions of years. The Earth functions continuously, a system of balance and flow that does not pause for observation. Sunlight warms oceans and land. Atmospheres move, gently distributing heat, tides, currents. And winds shift slowly. Life, in countless forms, continues steadily, supported by rhythms older than memory, existing quietly, without urgency, without attention. Nature operates across time that stretches far beyond our sense of now. Seasons, cycles, and generations unfold patiently. Life emerges, grows, adapts, and rests, or within a steady, unbroken continuum. The passage of time is soft, seamless, and unhurried. Every being, every process, every motion contributes to this gentle flow, whether we notice it or not. There is no need for conclusions. There is no need for endings. Everything essential simply continues. Life persists quietly. Earth functions steadily. Cycles repeat. Rhythms carry on. And the universe itself expands gently, endlessly. As you rest, you can feel yourself as part of this quiet continuity, softly moving with the unbroken flow of life. Nothing requires you to act. Nothing demands you to remember. Breath in, breath out, evenly, calmly. Every pulse of life, every movement of the planet, every unseen process carries on gently, allowing you to sink further, deeper into stillness, deeper into calm, deeper into sleep. The story does not end. It only continues softly, steadily, quietly, without pause, without interruption, without need. The world continues in soft, steady rhythms, long after words have faded, long after attention has wandered. Rivers keep flowing, winds keep drifting, life continues gently, quietly, endlessly. You do not need to remember, you do not need to notice, you do not need to follow. All that matters is the quiet, continuous motion, the calm, steady flow of earth and life round you, carrying you softly, evenly, effortlessly into stillness, into calm, into sleep. Breath flows slowly, body releases completely, mind drifts farther into gentle quiet, blending with the endless, patient pulse of the planet, carried softly, deeply, endlessly into rest.